1,000-pound sisters. TLC's official website posted something shocking about Sister Tammy, warning Sister Tammy that she will not be able to get married before 2026. Then the fans want to know what this post means: that he will marry on his own will. No one's instructions can be followed here. However, Sister Tammy said that I can't say anything in peace. The matter is very sad. The winter sun had just begun to set over Dixon, Kentucky, when the internet suddenly exploded with a shocking update. TLC's official website posted a headline that made fans gasp. Tammy Slayton will not be allowed to marry before 2026. Official warning issued. Within minutes, social media turned into a storm. Fans, friends, and even distant relatives began asking the same question. What does this mean? Why can't Tammy get married? Who is trying to control her life? The post that changed everything. Tammy was sitting in her living room, wrapped in a soft pink blanket, scrolling through comments on her phone. She had just finished eating dinner when her notification bar began buzzing endlessly. At first, she thought it was just another meme about her and Amy, but when she clicked on the link and saw the TLC announcement, her heart dropped. The article suggested, without explanation, that Tammy's marriage plans were under review and that any wedding before 2026 would not be recognized by the network. Tammy blinked at the screen, stunned. "What kind of mess is this?" she muttered. Fans went wild. The comment section underneath the post was overflowing. Tammy is grown. She can marry whenever she wants. TLC better stop controlling her life. This is disrespectful. Tammy deserves happiness. Some fans even started a hashtag. Amy, who had just put the kids to bed, called Tammy in a rush. "Girl, what is going on?" Amy asked, sounding more dramatic than usual. "You tell me. I woke up today thinking it was a normal day, and now the whole world thinks I'm banned from getting married." Tammy sighed. Tammy speaks out. Later that evening, Tammy opened TikTok Live. Over 30,000 people joined instantly. She looked directly into the camera and said, "Y'all, I can't even say anything in peace. Every time I breathe, someone has something to say about my life. Why can't people let me be happy?" Her voice cracked slightly, not from anger, but from exhaustion. "I'm not saying I'm getting married tomorrow. I'm not saying I'm not, but this whole thing is sad. It's my life, and no post, no website, no person is going to decide for me." Her comment section was flooded with hearts and supportive messages. The real story behind the warning. Behind the scenes, things were even more dramatic. TLC producers were scrambling in panic. The website post wasn't supposed to go live. It was part of an internal schedule for future episodes. Something glitched, and the article published by accident. The producers didn't want Tammy to announce any major life events before filming. They feared losing ratings if fans already knew everything in advance. But now the damage was done. Amy steps in. Seeing how upset Tammy had become, Amy drove over the next morning with 2 cups of iced coffee. "Look, sis," Amy said, hugging her, "I know it's messed up, but don't let a website tell you what your heart can or can't do." Tammy nodded slowly. "For years, people said I wouldn't walk again, and I proved them wrong. They said I wouldn't lose the weight. I did. They said I'd never have love, and I found it." Amy squeezed her hand. "Exactly. So if you want to marry before 2026, you will. And if you don't, that's your choice too." A decision for herself. That night, Tammy went outside to the porch and took a deep breath. The air was crisp and quiet. She looked up at the stars. "For once," she whispered, "my life is mine. My decisions are mine." She didn't know exactly when she wanted to marry. She didn't know what the future looked like, but she did know one thing. No website, no warning, no rumor would control her future ever again. The peace after the storm. A week later, TLC released an official apology and clarified that the post was a technical error. Meanwhile, Tammy posted her own message on Instagram. "I will choose love on my own timeline. Please let me live in peace." Fans supported her even more, cheering her strength and independence. And for the first time in a long time, Tammy felt calmer, as if she had taken back control of the story of her life. However, the cool Kentucky evening breeze slipped through the cracked window of Tammy's room at the rehab facility. She was sitting silently on her bed, scrolling through old photos of herself and Philip. laughing in restaurants, taking selfies after doctor's appointments, and even the awkward ones where he insisted on making a kissy face at the camera. Every image carried a memory, but tonight, the memories felt heavier than her entire weight loss journey. Amy peeked into the room. "Tammy, ya okay?" she asked softly, knowing the answer already. Tammy swallowed hard. "We broke up, Amy," she said, her voice trembling. "It's over between me and Philip." Amy slowly walked in, her eyes full of concern. "I kinda knew something was wrong. You been quiet all day?" The beginning of the end. The breakup hadn't come out of nowhere. Philip had started acting distant weeks earlier. He was supportive at first, cheering on Tammy's progress, celebrating every pound lost, promising a future full of adventures. But something shifted quickly. As Tammy grew stronger, Philip became strangely insecure. "You won't need me when you lose all that weight," he had told her one night over video call. "Why would you think that?" Tammy had asked, confused. "Because everything's gonna change," he replied. "Maybe you will too." Tammy didn't know what to say. She was fighting for her life, for her health. But suddenly, she felt like she had to fight for her relationship too. The breaking point. The final straw came during a heated argument. Philip told her, "You're becoming someone I don't recognize." Tammy fired back, "I'm becoming someone healthier. Isn't that what you wanted?" But Philip shook his head. I don't know if I belong in that new version of your life." The call ended with silence. Long, painful silence. And that was it. The sisters step in. Later that night, Amy sat beside her sister, rubbing her back gently. "Listen, Tammy, if he can't handle your growth, then he ain't the right man." Amanda burst into the room next. "We don't need no man who's scared of your glow-up," she declared. "Let him walk. You're leveling up, sis." Even Misty joined the moment, dropping off a cup of warm tea. "Heartbreak hurts," she said, "but sometimes it's the price of progress." For the first time that night, Tammy cracked a fragile smile. A new beginning. The next morning, Tammy woke up with puffy eyes but a stronger spirit. She walked to the therapy room, joined her physical trainer, and pushed harder than she had all month. Every step on the treadmill felt like she was walking out of the past. Her trainer noticed the fire in her eyes. "You okay, Tammy?" She nodded. "Yeah, I think I'm finally doing this for me." Finding herself again. Days turned into weeks. Tammy focused on her healing, physically and emotionally. She journaled, she laughed with her siblings, she reconnected with what made her happy beyond relationships. And slowly, the sadness became strength. The heartbreak became motivation. The breakup became her turning point. Months later. During a family barbecue, Amy raised her lemonade and shouted, "To Tammy, who dumped the weight, and the man." Everyone laughed, including Tammy. Tammy lifted her glass with pride. "To self-love," she said, "the love that stays." And at that moment, she realized she didn't lose. However, the morning sun shone softly through the kitchen window of the Slayton house in Dixon, Kentucky. Amy was already awake, pacing around with a notebook in her hand, her hair pulled up messily and her eyes full of determination. Today was the big day, the day they would be interviewing potential nurses for Tammy. Tammy, who had been doing much better since her major health transformation, was sipping her strawberry protein shake in the living room, watching her sister buzz around like a stressed-out wedding planner. "Girl, sit down," Tammy said, rolling her eyes in a playful way. "You're doing more cardio than me." Amy stopped, sighed dramatically, and flopped onto the couch beside her. "Tammy, this is important. We need to find someone who can handle you. And don't say you're easy. You ain't." Tammy smirked. "I'm a whole buffet of emotions. I know." The first candidate, Nurse Caroline. The first nurse arrived exactly on time. Caroline, a cheerful woman with bright green scrubs and a clipboard that looked like it had been through medical war. Caroline walked in confidently. "So, Tammy, tell me about your daily routine." Tammy answered politely at first. "Well, I do my exercises, watch my shows, check my comments." Caroline interrupted. "I would need to supervise all your meals strictly. No snacks unless approved by me." Amy's eyebrows shot up. "She said no snacks like she's running a prison," Amy whispered loudly. Tammy narrowed her eyes. I need support, not someone to lock up my hot Cheetos. Caroline forced a smile. Firmness builds discipline. Tammy shook her head. Next. Caroline left quickly, probably sensing the Slayton energy was not for her. The second candidate, Nurse Marco, a tall man with a friendly smile, entered next. Marco, a former physical therapist who had recently switched to home nursing. Marco greeted them with a warm voice. Hey Tammy, Amy, it's great to meet you both. Tammy's jaw dropped slightly. Oh, damn, he's handsome, she whispered to Amy. Amy giggled. Tammy, behave. Marco demonstrated simple breathing exercises, stretches, and even did a small motivational speech. I've helped people rebuild their confidence, he said. What matters is patience, teamwork, and believing every step counts. Tammy nodded, impressed for once. I like him. Can we hire him right now? But then Marco added gently, and I'd need to come 5 days a week at 6 a.m. Tammy almost dropped her drink. 6 a.m.? Boy, I don't even wake up at dawn for Jesus. Marco laughed, understanding. We can negotiate, but progress likes early mornings. Amy patted Tammy's shoulder. We'll think about it. Marco left, still smiling. The third candidate, Nurse Wanda. Just when they thought the day couldn't get any stranger, Wanda entered, wearing sparkly blue eyeliner, leopard print scrubs, and carrying a bag full of mysterious tools. Hi, babies, she sang in a dramatic voice. Amy froze. Tammy blinked. They were not prepared. Wanda explained that she believed in holistic healing, showing essential oils, crystals, and a mini singing bowl. Tammy leaned back slowly. Amy? She gonna summon spirits in my living room. Wanda insisted. I cleanse negative energy. Amy giggled. Baby, you gonna need a huge bowl for our energy. Wanda began ringing the bowl around Tammy's head, humming like she was calling ancient angels. Tammy started laughing so hard she almost cried. Amy, get her out before she makes my soul float away, Tammy whispered. They thanked Wanda politely and escorted her out, gently, but quickly. The final candidate, Nurse Jasmine. By afternoon, they were tired, hungry, and emotionally exhausted, but when Jasmine entered, everything felt calmer. Jasmine was soft-spoken, patient, and had years of experience working with bariatric patients. She began by talking to Tammy directly, not at her, not over her. Tell me what you want help with, she said kindly. Tammy paused. I just want someone who understands I'm trying. I need help, but I don't want to feel judged. Jasmine nodded. I'm here to support your choices, not control them. We'll work together at your pace. Amy stared, touched by the gentleness of her words. Jasmine showed her daily care plan, meal support schedule, mobility goals, and emotional check-ins. Tammy smiled for the first time that day. You get me. I like that. Amy whispered. Tammy, I think she's the one. Tammy nodded. She really might be. That evening, the sisters sat on the porch, sipping iced tea, reflecting on the whirlwind of interviews. That was a crazy day, Amy said. Tammy giggled. Girl, I went from prison guard lady to handsome gym boy to witch doctor Wanda. But Jasmine, she felt real. Amy agreed. You need someone who understands your heart, not just your weight. Tammy looked at the sky, confident and peaceful. Yeah, it's time for a new chapter, and I'm ready for it. The sun set behind them, painting the sky pink and gold, almost like a sign of hope. And with Jasmine's help, Tammy believed for the first time that the road ahead wasn't just possible. However, Amy Halterman sat nervously in the waiting room of Dr. Felicia Morgan's state-of-the-art cosmetic surgery clinic in Nashville. The bright white lights, the glossy posters of before and after transformations, and the faint smell of lavender all felt strangely overwhelming. But Amy had made up her mind. She wanted to explore plastic surgery, not for fame, not for the show, but for herself. For months, Amy had felt different. After her weight loss journey, after raising her 2 little boys, and after rediscovering her confidence step by step, she finally began to notice the physical reminders of her old life. Loose skin, uneven contours, and the way her reflection never quite matched how she felt inside. So when the episode idea came up, Amy's plastic surgery consultation, she agreed. Maybe this was the next step in rebuilding her life. Just as Amy was adjusting her purse on her lap, Tammy rolled into the room with a grin. "Girl, you look like you're about to meet the president or something," Tammy teased. Amy rolled her eyes. "I'm just nervous, okay? This is a big deal." Tammy's smile stayed soft. "I know, but you're gonna be fine. You did all the hard stuff already. Surgery is just polishing the masterpiece." Before Amy could answer, the nurse called her name. Inside the consultation room, Dr. Morgan entered with a warm smile. "Amy, it's so nice to finally meet you. I've watched your journey, both on the show and in your medical notes. You've made incredible progress." Amy felt her cheeks warm. "Thank you, ma'am. I just want to feel normal and confident. You know?" Dr. Morgan nodded. "Absolutely. So tell me, what areas are troubling you the most?" Amy took a deep breath and lifted her shirt slightly to reveal the folds of skin around her abdomen. "This. And my arms. I just feel like I'm carrying reminders of the old me." The doctor examined gently, explaining every step. "What you're experiencing is very common after major weight loss. The good news is, we can help. A tummy tuck, arm lift, and possibly a breast lift could dramatically improve your comfort and silhouette." Amy's eyes widened. "All that? At once?" "Well," Dr. Morgan chuckled, "not in one day, but we can create a safe plan." Tammy laughed. "Girl, you're gonna come out looking like a whole new Amy 2.0, the emotional side." While discussing recovery time, anesthesia, and risks, Amy suddenly felt a wave of emotion. What if I fail? What if I go back to old habits? What if all this is for nothing? "Doctor." Morgan placed a reassuring hand on Amy's shoulder. "Your body changed, Amy, but your strength changed too. You're not the same woman you were 5 years ago. Surgery doesn't create confidence. It supports a confidence already growing." Tammy nodded. "And you ain't alone. I'm right here. I'll be annoying you through every second of recovery." Amy laughed through tears. "I know you will." After the appointment, walking out of the clinic, Amy felt lighter. Not physically, but emotionally. She held a folder full of information, photos, and surgical plans. But more importantly, she held hope. "Tammy," she said softly, "I think I'm finally ready to love myself, like, fully." Tammy wrapped her arm around her sister. "And I think you already do. This is just the glow-up topping. Hello, lovely viewers. Welcome to my channel. I am Mina. Hope your day is so well. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe the channel.